Hey everyone, it's Sarah and today I am back with a subscriber requested video. So somebody recently asked me to do a video about pear fragrances. So pear is one of my favorite fruit notes in fragrance. Actually, it is. It's my favorite fruit note, I believe, in fragrance. I love apple, but I love pear. I like a lot of different fruit notes, but pear, there's just something about pear. So anyways, I think I've got 13 different fragrances here. I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with a couple of Zara fragrances. Zara uses pear in their fragrance a lot. And the first one I'm gonna talk about is Wonder Rose. Now, I love this fragrance. This doesn't even have rose in it. It's basically like, it's pear, and I don't even know what else. Pear, maybe like praline or something. This is really, really sweet. It's got a slight crispness to it. It might have some kind of a flower, but not rose. Or it could just be like, I don't know, maybe a musk or something, like pear, musk, and something else. I don't know, but it's really, really beautiful. And like I say, it's this is a pear fragrance, not rose. So anyways, that's the first one, Zara Wonder Rose. Now this one, this doesn't last very long on the skin at all. These little 30 ml bottles are like $10, so they're really, really affordable. You can definitely afford to continually reapply throughout the day. But yeah, I really love this one, but you do have to reapply it every couple hours at least. It just does not last very long, but man, is it gorgeous and yummy smelling and sweet, yummy pear. So anyways, that is Zara Wonder Rose. The second one that I have, and now I have more fragrances than this in my collection that contain pear, I'm quite sure, but I pulled ones that I knew had a very prominent pear note. So everything here has a very prominent pear note. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is Katy Perry Meow. These bottles kill me. I love them so much. I bought these fragrances just for the bottle. I happen to really, really like this one though. Well, I like them both actually. I like the one in the dark purple bottle too. This is the fruitier of the two, and this has the most beautiful pear note in it. This one's sweet. It smells like it might have caramel or praline or something sweet in it. It's like a beautiful, sweet, kind of candied pear fragrance. It's fruity from the pear, but this one isn't quite as fresh as like the Wonder Rose. This one is like more of a sweet pear. Like a sweet candied caramel, vanilla, yummy pear. I love it. This one's definitely more gourmand, whereas the Wonder Rose is more fresh. Again, I don't get the best longevity out of this. I can get 3 or 4 hours out of this. It's not something I could wear to work or anything, but it's definitely a fun one for around the house. If I just feel like reapplying something, or if I don't mind wearing a fragrance that I have to reapply. It's beautiful though. I love it. It's a really beautiful celebrity scent. So anyways, that is Katy Perry Meow. Okay, next I have a Burberry fragrance. This is called, yeah, this is just the original Burberry Brit. This is the Eau de Parfum formulation. Let me just make sure I'm telling you that correctly. Yes, this is the Eau de Parfum formulation. And this is kind of like a beautiful complex pear. Yes. This is a very beautiful complex fragrance with a very prominent pear note. Now, this one is not overly sweet. I think this might have some almond in it or something. It's got something that really, really cuts that sweetness. So this is not a sweet pear. This is more of a like very fresh, yeah, a very fresh pear, but this is really, really complex. It's got a ton of stuff going on in this. I want to say this has an almond note in it. if I remember correctly, which I might. I will, of course, have everything on the screen for you, but yeah, beautiful pear fragrance, not sweet, very beautiful and complex. It's got a slight nuttiness to it. It's got a little bit of a spiced quality to it. I think there are some flowers in here. Really, really beautiful. If you're looking for a pear fragrance that's not gonna like knock you over with sweetness, or isn't like a caramel and pear pairing, this is definitely a good one. So that is Burberry Brit Eau de Parfum. Okay, we've got another Zara fragrance for you, and this is one of my favorite Zara fragrances of all time. This is such a beautiful pear fragrance. This is Zara Mochi Atelier in Tokyo, and oh my gosh, this is pear, but this is like a soft, yes, this is like a soft, slightly, I don't want to say powdery, it's got a rice note in it that does give it a slight powderiness, but this is a soft, very fresh pear. Again, the sweetness in this is very, very light. It's almost, yeah, it's almost not sweet. It almost has a slightly like boozy quality, and I don't know if that's from just the alcohol in the fragrance or if that is just part of the composition. Oh my goodness, but this is beautiful. And the longer that I've had this and the more it sits, like the color has even deepened up some. It used to be lighter than this when I first got it. But the longer this sits, the better it gets. Yeah, it's just this beautiful, very slightly floral, very fresh, very slightly powdery, almost with a touch of milkiness to it. Pear. But the definite dominant note in this is pear. It's gorgeous. I love this fragrance. Again, longevity on this one is not great. This is one that you will have to reapply every couple of hours. I have a huge bottle though. This is like three ounce bottle, so I don't mind having to reapply all the time. But it is one that I do have to just enjoy at home, or I could spray it on if I'm just gonna go run a quick errand or something, but it won't get me through like, you know, work or anything like that. So. But I don't mind because I love this fragrance so much. So this is Zara Mochi Atelier in Tokyo. Okay, next is one that I just picked up, and this is funny because I did not realize this had pear in it until I looked up the notes on it. And now I know why I love this so much. So this is Dahlia from Bath & Body Works, and I picked up this little purse spray as well as the lotion during the semi-annual sale. And this is beautiful. Somebody told me that to them this smells like Carolina Herrera Good Girl, and I could see that kind of, but this is very, very pear. It's got a very prominent pear note that Good Girl does not have, but it does kind of have that supporting kind of, I don't know, creamy, chocolatey, spicy kind of background, but this very, very strong, prominent pear note. It's the most prominent thing to my nose in this is the pear. It's beautiful. It's creamy smelling. It's yummy. I wish that the lotion lasted longer on my skin, and this perfume doesn't last any time at all either. So it's definitely, I have worn the combination to work, but it didn't get me through the whole work day. So this is one that I would probably just have to wear at home as well. But I do love this. It smells amazing. It does smell kind of similar to Good Girl, same kind of vibe. But this is, it's like Good Girl if it had a ton of pear in it. So anyways, that is Dahlia from Bath & Body Works. Okay, next we have a Duo fragrance. I love this. This is actually a dupe fragrance for a Slumber House fragrance called, I don't even remember. I don't even know what the Slumber House fragrance is called. I'll have it on the screen for you though. This is Duo Succulent, and this is like a, this is beautiful, and it's gotten so much better with time too. This is like a thick, stewed, buttery, sweet, spiced pear fragrance. It's got a very like palpable buttery quality to it. It's got a thickness to it. It's got a richness to it. It's creamy, buttery, thick, warm, stewed, spiced pears is what this smells like. This is not a safe blind buy by any means. It's very, this is incredibly unique, and I can't see everybody loving this. I love it though because I love the uniqueness of this, and it's amazing in cold weather. It just wears beautifully in cold weather. So I love it. If you're looking for like a beautiful cold weather pear fragrance that's just like yummy, cozy, spiced, stewed, buttery pears, here it is. So anyways, that is Succulent from Dua. Okay, next is a fragrance that I know has pear in it, but I forget what this smells like, but I wanted to talk about it anyways because it is a pear fragrance. This is La Vierge de Fer from Serge Lutens, and I just have a, yes, I just have a tester spray here, or a decant. Yes, this is a gorgeous, fresh, very slightly sweet pear fragrance. It is predominantly pear. This has an 80s vibe to it. I almost get like an 80s hairspray vibe at first, but it's just a beautiful, slightly sweet, like 80s style pear fragrance. I love this one. I hadn't smelled it in such a long time. I'm glad I pulled it out. It's beautiful. It's floral. It's pear. It's vintagey smelling. Very, very slightly sweet. There's some floral in here that's giving me like a kind of hairspray vibe, but not in a bad way. It's beautiful. It smells very high quality. Again, not one that would be a safe blind buy by any means. Any of the other ones really I think would be a safe blind buy, except for Burberry Brit. Maybe I would test that one, and definitely Succulent I would test that one, but any of the others would be safe. Most Serge Lutens fragrances are not safe blind buys. But yeah, this is beautiful. And this one, the longer or the more it dries down, the more prominent the pear becomes. It's stunning. I love it. I love this one on my skin. Yeah, it's like a very vintagey style fruity pear fragrance. I love it. So anyways, that is Serge Lutens La Vierge de Fer. Okay, next we have a Sucreabeille fragrance, and I adore this fragrance. This was one of the first ones that I think when I purchased them on my own, I think this is one of the ones, I think I picked up like a bestsellers, like discovery kit that they had, that they probably still have. And I think this was in the bestsellers discovery kit. This is called Pear Tree. And oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful. I'm gonna just put a little bit on my skin. Oh man. This is like a fresh baked pear pie. It's, oh, it's beautiful, sugary, 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 spiced pears. That's exactly, if you could imagine what an apple pie smells like, but replace the apple with pear, that's what you get with Pear Tree. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's yummy, sugary, spiced, baked pears. I love this fragrance. I absolutely love wearing this in the fall. It gives you the most beautiful like fall vibes. So anyways, that is Sucreabeille Pear Tree. Next we have another Zara fragrance. I told you that they like to use pear in Zara fragrances, and this is another one. This is like pear and ambrette. It's beautiful. This one is called Rosy Moussaline. Now I know you can't get this one anymore, but oh gosh, it's such a beautiful pear. Pear and Ambrette fragrance. Oh gosh, I love it. The Ambrette is very, very prominent in this. It gives it this beautiful, like, this beautiful, like, creamy quality. Actually, Ambrette is more of like a fuzzy. It gives fragrance more of like a fuzziness than a creaminess. It's just beautiful. It's almost got the same quality to me that like Iris does. Like an Iris fragrance, I get the same kind of vibe from Ambrette. But this is just a beautiful Ambrette and Pear fragrance. I love it. The pear is super, super prominent, but again, very fresh, not overly sweet. And then with the fuzziness of the Ambrette, it's just beautiful. So anyways, that is Rosy Moussaline from Zara. Okay, next we have a fragrance. I have not had this for long, but it's about halfway gone. This is Ellis Brooklyn Sweet, and this is another, I believe, Pear and Ambrette pairing. Yes, this one's beautiful though. The pear in this is much sweeter than in the Rosy Moussaline. The Ambrette is much more toned down in this. This is just a beautiful, sweet, buttery pear with a really beautiful toned down Ambrette note. It's got a lot more going on in this though. This is more complex than like the Rosy Moussaline. But this is beautiful. This one is, well, sweet is a great name for it. It's sweet, creamy smelling, slightly buttery smelling, a little bit fuzzy with the Ambrette, and then you've got that beautiful sweet pear note. I love it. Oh, it's so good. This one is less distinct. This is more, the pear in this is more of just a sweet note rather than like a distinctly pear note, but it is still pear and it's really, really beautiful. So anyways, that is Ellis Brooklyn Sweet. Now this one does not last very long on the skin. Let me tell you about the pear tree. This pear tree one, you'll get 5 or 6 hours out of this, maybe even longer depending on how your skin likes these types of oil fragrances. I do believe this is an oil. Yeah. Yeah, depending on how like these types of fragrances perform on you, you might get like 12 plus hours out of this. I get about 6 or 8 hours out of it though. It's a beautiful fragrance. If you get it on clothing, it'll last even longer. It's so stunning. Sweet is not the best performer in the world. I can get 3 or so hours out of this. Oh, it's beautiful though. If I ever came across a bottle of this on sale, I would definitely pick it up. It's very beautiful. So that is Ellis Brooklyn Sweet. Okay, this next one is one that I just picked up. Oh, I'm head over heels in love with this fragrance. This is a Juliet Has a Gun fragrance, and this is called Pear Ink. And this has a pretty distinct, like, oh gosh, this is a beautiful, fresh pear. This is basically like pear and, again, Ambrette or Ambrettolide. Oh my goodness. It has a kind of Dolce & Gabbana light blue vibe at first, but then once it starts to dry down on skin and clothing, the pear really, really comes out. Again, it's a beautiful, very slightly sweet, fresh, kind of buttery, musky pear fragrance. It's clean, fresh, warm. Oh, I love this fragrance so, so much. I'm so glad I have a huge bottle of this because I do tend to overspray my Juliet Has a Gun fragrances, but when I overspray them, I can get a whole day out of them. Pear Ink will literally stay on clothes for days, and when I wear it, this is one that I can wear to work, and it'll stick with me. Oh, it's a beautiful, fresh, slightly sweet pear. I love this. So this is Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink. Okay, next we have a discontinued fragrance, and if you guys can ever get your hands on this, I highly suggest it because it is such a beautiful fragrance. This is Ralph Lauren Tender Romance, and I wish I had a bigger bottle than this because I ration. I don't wear this often. I like ration it because I don't want to be without it. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful, almost leaning gourmand pear. This is like pear and ginger. I think there might be some orange blossom in this. It's sweet. It's like a sweet, yummy, florally gourmand pear fragrance. And then there's a little bit of a bite from the ginger. It's so beautiful, you guys. This is one that it is one of the most perfect pear fragrances in my collection. Seriously, it's just so beautiful. It's creamy, it's warm. Like I say, it kind of leans gourmand, but it also has a really beautiful floral aspect to it. I just love this fragrance so much. I wish I had a big, huge bottle of this because like I say, I ration it because I'm scared I'm gonna run out and I don't want to. Oh gosh, one of my favorite pear fragrances in my collection, hands down. And this will last all day long. This is a great performing fragrance. You can spray it on. I can wear this to work. It'll get me through an entire workday, no problem. Oh, it's gorgeous. So anyways, that is Ralph Lauren Tender Romance. And then last but not least, this is probably my most complimented pear fragrance in my collection. This is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle. This is a very simple fragrance. This is just pear, vetiver, and vanilla. And I love this fragrance. This is a hit or miss for people. I think a lot of Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances are a hit or miss for people. They're a hit or miss for me. This is one that just really, really works for me though. I love this. I need to get another bottle. This is another one that I kind of ration because I'm afraid to run out of it. Because I do kind of go hard with this one when I do wear it, and yeah, I don't know. This isn't the easiest fragrance to find in the world either. This is beautiful though. This is just yummy pear and vanilla with a hint of vetiver. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's sweet, it's yummy. It's, again, leaning gourmand. It's heavy, heavy vanilla and heavy, heavy pear. It's so good. I love this. I get compliments on this every time I wear it. People absolutely love this fragrance, especially men. So anyways, that is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle. And that's going to be it, guys. Those are all of the pear fragrances. Well, not all of them, but those are a bunch of pear fragrances in my collection that have a very prominent pear note. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.